Hello, hello, my sweet lovelies. Good morning. I'm trying to get this camera stable. I'm going to have to get a tripod. I'm going to go ahead and check out Amazon so I can be a little more efficient with my videos. But I just know I needed to start uploading and making them. Okay, so I'll go ahead and get my tripod and my little stuff to get more efficient and get some backgrounds and stuff. If anybody knows where I can get those things or who's giving anything away or whatever, just let me know. All right. But anyway, today is going to be, we'll pretty much talk about the awakening. My big old eye, I have a sty coming. But anyway, it's called The Awakening. That's what I want to talk about. And to me, it was life-changing. My awakening. Phenomenal. I thank God every day for it. It's more so the best way that I can explain it or how it happened. So I'm a person that likes to give my story and see what you're able to pull from it. But for me, the awakening was literally in the spiritual sense, like I was getting up out of the bed, waking up. And I feel like it's something that people do at different times. And you just wake up when you wake up. Some people wake up, just think about sleep. Some people wake up a little disoriented. Some people wake up, fresh and, just get right on up. Some people, wake up, go back to sleep, wake up, go back to sleep, but they're still, gradually waking up. So it kind of fits the sense, that's why people call it the awakening. And so I had my awakening, aka enlightenment, where I remember sitting in my house and I started to question. It started with me with questions. I started to say, well, why is this? And it started to me because my foundation's in the church. I grew up in the church. But I was just like, Lord, I'm a type of person, I am in love with the power of God, literally the power of God. And seeing that and seeing miracles and as we say, supernatural things or whatever, and knowing it's of God and feeling him, when your hair stand up on your neck and your arms, when God is present. And by me being in church school and things like that, not to take anything away from that, it gave me a great foundation. And I do believe, train up a child in the way it should go. And when they get older, they won't depart from it, but I feel like with that verse, it's gotten a little deeper for me because not only did I depart from it, it actually helped me forge my own way, my spiritual life. So what happened, it started with me questioning. I was like, Lord, I've been in the church for however many years, tell my age, right? And I don't understand. I feel like I've seen bits and pieces of you, but I haven't seen you. It's more to you than this. And I just kept feeling like in this time of my life, God said, there's more. And I feel like I had essentially, had all the things that I wanted, but I'm like, okay, it must mean I'm going to win the lottery because that's the last thing I need, right? But God was telling me there's more, trying to give me a foresight of that there's more. But what he was saying to me, he was going to show me more of him. And if me knowing more of him, it gave me more of everything else in the world, right? So, like I said, it starts with questioning. It went from questioning things about, okay, power in the church. To me, the church renders itself powerless because people are coming back asking for the same thing. Still broke, still heartbroken, still struggling with this, still struggling with that. Not to say you're supposed to get over right away, but, 20 years later, where is the power of God? And I started to look up things, and research, and I'm able to see people in India, a guy able to start a fire with his hands, and a young girl who's blindfolded, who was able to know what's in front of her and see what's in front of her. Some Asian doctors saying, almost like a chant, saying something where they are, there's a lady who has cancer and it's on the screen, and they just chanting. And basically what they're chanting is, she's whole, she's healed. And so by the intent that they set, they just chanted and chanted, and you literally see on the monitor how the cancer begins to shrink. And so I'm like, that's your power. Like, and they weren't in the church, they weren't, but they had the concept and they had the ideologies, and they understand like that the power is within them. And I feel like God started to open me up and open my mind up from there, to the point of I started to look at every belief system from my race, and how I view my Blackness, if you will. And I realized that, we are part of every culture. We are, Africans, essentially are the first to people to build a dynasty in China, the Moors and all of that, and how it talks about, when it talks about architecture and things like that, and how we brought, the different architecture and things like that. And if you hear about Egyptology, which is the study of, Egypt, but just think about it, there you don't hear Russiantology or Europetology or anything like that. So if you look into those things, you'll expand more. It goes really deep, and it just shows me that we're inbred in every culture. And we're not just, I love Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks and all of that. But we're not just, we're always struggling and get up on the bus. Like, I don't mean no harm, and I don't take anything away from our struggle. But we are so far beyond that. And so God started just to open up doors and allow me to see and question and research about everything about me, from spiritual things to, like I said, my race, to life in general. And so essentially what the awakening is for me, it was literally having to break down belief systems. I'm talking about belief systems that I grew up with, belief systems that my mother may have taught me, belief systems that I got in school and in the church, belief systems that I've learned just in civilization and in my culture. Having to break all of that down, like, it did not serve a purpose. It did not make sense to me. Looking at how we run politics and everything. And once I was able to get through those things and break them down, and God is showing me the counter, the what really exists and what is real, and that the world does not have to, it's almost like you just open up to a whole and different atmosphere. Really, like, it's a different atmosphere, a different world. And to me, it's wonderful. It's like a kid in a candy store. Like, oh my goodness, what do I do from here? And it's like, I now understand I'm a co-creator of my universe. I've always heard the term, of course, but not really understanding, like, I'm a co-pilot. Like, I can help, I'm co-creating. God is still the creator. But if you set intentions and your intentions is pure, God will create that thing for you. Now, you don't get to do the how. You get to set the intent. You get to manifest, and that's when manifestation and things like that come into play. And and you have to learn and begin to set intent and manifest and understand that you literally harness your own power. But God already told you that he's inside of you. He already tells you that the power is inside of you. But I don't feel like, in all my years of being in church and everything, I didn't understand how to go inside, tap, and unlock that. I was not taught that. I know, especially from my upbringing, people feel certain ways about the third eye. Yes, I'm going to touch on that. And so the third eye is not from the devil. is not of the devil. Okay? I don't care what none of y'all say. Like Curbs, I ain't scared of none of y'all. It's not of the devil. And it is literally an organ. So like your eyes are an organ, your skin is an organ, your heart is an organ. There's something called the pineal gland that sits in the middle of your head. And it is an organ, and it literally has nerves and things running through it, similar to these two eyes. Hence the third eye, which is in your brain. So you can go ahead and look up pineal gland and research that, and that is the third eye. And so actually what it does is gives you intuition. It is for also hormones, and it balances, it lets you kind of know when you're coming into the to daytime, to nighttime, like rhythms and things like that. And so absolutely it's put there. So the third eye is not evil. Like I said, everything has intent. So, I learned about that, and just, I don't know, God is amazing, just opening up a whole new world. And so the awakening for me, like I said, started with questioning. And once I got past questions, it had to literally tear down belief systems and couldn't worry about what this person may think or that person might think. But it's like he sets it so firm inside of me that I know that I'm in alignment. And alignment also does reflect your emotions. And so many times we're told not to trust our emotions and don't trust how we feel. But that is literally our compass in the world. And that's why God says, I'm easy enough for a child to understand. And I couldn't understand that because Hebrew is, our Western kids cannot understand Hebrew, right? And thous and shouts and all those things, that when they do translate it in English, it's still really hard to understand, but I got it. And it's almost like God gave me a nugget to say, I'm easy for a child to understand because a child only has their emotions and a compass. It's literally like a compass inside of you that you have to go with. So a child knows, oh, I shouldn't go that way. I shouldn't go this way. They don't know it all. So they have us as teachers to help guide them and show them. But if it's just them by themselves, they know, oh, I feel good. I feel happy. Oh, that hurts. I don't want to do that. And I feel like emotions does guide you. That's why it's just always stay into a high vibration. And what that means, I didn't know what that meant either. So to stay in a high vibration basically means to incorporate the feelings of happiness, joy, peace, gratefulness, thankfulness, those things that make you feel good. And if you stay in a low vibration, which is considered anger and hate and sadness and, things like that, you could feel, you feel how you feel with it. Like you feel low, you don't feel good, you want to feel high. And when you feel high, it just seems like everything's always right in the world. And that's because it's because you're in alignment. You're in alignment with your purpose. You're in alignment with how you're supposed to move in life. And so now that I'm understanding that, when I feel good and I'm moving forward, and I'm not talking about those temporary feelings when and it's in the center of you. And I was the type of person where I would doubt that and I would go against that, or I would try to live up to a standard or a precept that I was taught. That's not it. When I move in purpose and I move according to how God has me to move, and understanding that I'm a type of person that has to be tangible enough to understand. And for those of you who are like me, that means going with the feeling inside of you, following the path of least resistance. If you feel resistant to it, if you feel like, I'm struggling with this, stop. Even if you feel like it's the right thing to do according to a belief system you have. Stop. You can't worry about that. You can't worry about what other people think. If somebody's telling you, you need to wear this blue dress, and you're like, no, I really, really want to wear this yellow dress. And you're like, well, according to the Bible, you have to wear this blue dress because this is how it's supposed to go. And and you know within inside of you, like, I really need to wear this yellow dress, and I know people are not going to understand. It's not for them to understand. God understands, and he's going to give you a precept that lines up with that, and you're going to know that you're in alignment, and you have to move in the path of least resistance. And for me, the word of God has never been so alive in my life until now, that his words are literal. And that's why he says, change not a diddle, a dot, a tit on his words, period. Like, because it's living, but it hasn't been living in my life until now. So when I see, faith as a mustard seed, faith as small as a mustard seed can move mountains. And I've asked certain people and they say, oh no, it's just figurative. No, it's literal. That's where telekinesis comes in. Again, something that's taught to kind of stay away from. Why would I stay away from the power that God has put into me? And these are things that you can research. Telekinesis is moving things with your energy, with your hand, actually physically moving it. There are people in the world who can do this. You can do this, but you're not taught to. You haven't been trained to. So, of course, it's going to take work and effort, just like anything else. But you can literally move something. And God has told you, faith is small, but you have to believe. That's the magic in it. That's the magic in awakening to this new world, is actually believing. Faith, as small as a mustard seed, can move something. If you set the intent, you can manifest. You can shift the entire reality, and God is going to do it because he's the creator and you're the co-creator. You can move your world. So everything that you're living today is literally of your past. So what were you thinking about a year ago, a month ago? Everything you were thinking about a year ago, a month ago, is what you're living in today. Just think about it. So what you're living in today is the present, because you get the opportunity to predict your future. So when you look back and you say, oh, wow, yes, I remember 2 months ago, Nikki was having this video and I started to create my future. And now look what has manifest. You know what I'm saying? So absolutely. So there's so many nuggets, like I said, God has given me, and I call them downloads as well. And I want to share them, and I'm going to share them. But hopefully this is enough. I know this is a long video, so I'm just going to stop it here. We can pick up with more later. I love you guys, and thank you for just staying in tune and in touch. All right. Love you.